half marathon?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How
I
many
never
miles is that going to be?
like 13 point something.
Ah, you are a total badass. You know that?
I'm trying. And I'm in like my third week of 75 hard as well. So uh,
Wow.
yeah, so I'm just doing it all, trying to get those abs by summer.
I'm pretty sure you already have a six pack, don't you?
I did whenever like around like last fall I did, and then I kind of got lazy over the holidays and those cookies didn't help. So I got to get it back.
Amazing. Well,
So
I'm excited about what we're gonna do today, Jenna. This is, of course, the Deal Junkie Live. For any of you guys that have not yet participated in one of these lives, this is probably one of the most fun days and live streams that I get to do ever because we are going direct to seller, meaning I'm talking to homeowners, which are a very different conversation than talking to real estate agents. Any of you guys that have ever done any seller direct marketing, you guys know that there's a much different vibe that is offered from a homeowner versus a real estate agent. So these calls can go anywhere, they can go any way. I can be sworn at, or I might even find an opportunity. Last time we did a Deal Junkie Live, Jenna and I actually on the first call, we got a great lead. And that lead has actually transpired into a few different opportunities for me. And so I'm super excited about what Deal Junkie has to offer. But again, I just wanted to kind of go over all of the things that Deal Junkie is doing differently than the other competitors in the market. And so before we get into making phone calls today, Jenna, I would love if we could just briefly give our audience an overview of how Deal Junkie is able to get data that is 16 times more predictive of a sale than, say, your average list that you get from Batch or PropStream. Now, again, guys, when I say 16 times, okay, I want to give you this data so you understand it. If you're looking at the average high equity list at any given time, 1% of the people on a high equity list are ready to sell or thinking about selling their property. 1%. So that means out of every 100 people you talk to, one of them may be interested in selling, right? 1%. But the AI filters that Deal Junkie is applying on these lists make it incredibly predictive. And that 1% goes to 16%. Okay. 16 times more predictive than your average high equity list. So for every 100 people you talk to, 16 of them are going to be prospective sellers. And that changes the entire game for you. And it greatly reduces the cost per contract that you'll experience on these types of deals. Now, the average cost per contract in the United States right now is anywhere from $3,500 to $7,500 cost per contract, depending on what market and what modality you're using for the lead. So we've been able to take our cost per contract using Deal Junkie down to anywhere from $200 to $400 per contract. That is insanely, insanely less. Like the savings are just crazy to me. But would you help us understand how, Jenna? Because I think people are probably looking at this and being like, cool, this sounds neat, but how are you doing this?
yeah, so it's kind of creepy when you think about how AI has evolved in all these years. So as a company, and if you guys are new to joining our calls, definitely welcome. And I'm Jenna. I'm hanging out with Jamil here today, and I get to be a techie geek with him. But how our software works is that as a company, what we've done is we purchased over 40 years worth of real estate sales data. So if you can imagine every house in the country that has ever sold since the 80s, since the 1980s until now, if you can kind of imagine all of the financial details of every seller and all of the property details of every property, so billions and billions of data points, we have all of that information and we own all of that data. So super invasive information. Things like if somebody had a main income generator of that household pass away, we know that. We know how much money people make, what cars are they driving, magazines that they subscribe to. Did a kid move away to college? Did somebody get a different job and they relocated? So what we do is it's almost like we play detective and we say, okay, these houses sold over the last 40 years. But what happened to that house? Like what caused them to need to sell? And we almost reverse engineer it. So we see the house sold and we look at all the different, I like to call them like symptoms or characteristics that cause them to want to sell. And so what we do is we take all of that information, all of the property details, like the age of the property, how much land did they have, all these different parameters. We put it into our genetic algorithm and then we cross-reference it with all of the people of today. History does repeat itself. So if we see that somebody today has the same symptoms that somebody in the past had, then it's going to give us a predictability, the ability to predict that this person has the likelihood to sell their property, not just in general, but in a time frame within the next 90 days. So what we do is we score the properties three different ways. We score them on a retail basis. So how likely are they to sell more at a retail level, more MLS type of a price? And obviously, we're seeing that there's different symptoms, characteristics that causes this person to most likely need to sell, but maybe it's not financially motivated. Our second way that we grade these properties are more towards a rental basis. So how likely in the next 90 days will these properties sell at more towards a landlord discounted type of a price? And then obviously my favorite and a lot of our favorite is going to be that wholesale number. How likely are we predicting in the next 90 days on a scale of 0 to 1,000? 1,000 is the best that this property is going to sell at that discounted wholesale price. It's essentially like our magic sifter button because, like Jamil said, we can take all these different properties, we can market to all of them, but how do we weed them down? How do we take them and how do we have that ability to leverage AI to find the ones almost on that silver platter? And that's exactly what we have done with the software. It is so unbelievable, so cool. I mean, even whenever I've done different marketing campaigns in my area, like I have numerous different rental properties, I'm always renovating different properties. And it's so creepy because when I'm doing different marketing campaigns in my area, I'll just send out a big campaign and I sometimes I don't just double check who all I'm sending it to. And different times I've gotten a postcard from myself for a house that I'm getting ready to renovate. And I'm like, how did the system know that out of the 6 rehabs that I have going on, that out of my 20 different rental properties, that it knew that this one was a house that I was getting ready to sell? Like sometimes it's almost creepy
Right.
whenever you kind of break it down that way. So do you want me to start sharing and start showing?
Yeah, I want you to do that. And guys, I had the luxury of asking some questions, and so like some of the data that they're tracking, right, is like, did somebody in the house cancel a magazine subscription? Did somebody in the house break up, have a recent breakup? Did somebody in the house change or forward a mailing address? And so like it is creepy, some of the data points that they're tracking, but it's 40 years worth of this data. And so when Jenna said history repeats itself, it 1000% does. And because of that, it makes it just so high. I just need you guys to understand the how incredible having access to this information is for us, because it's just going to save us a tremendous amount of money and it's going to save us a tremendous amount of time when we are doing this outreach.
Yeah, so if you guys do not have the software and you're wanting to research it while I'm showing it to you, you're just going to go to drdealjunkie.com and you're going to see all the stats on it. It's going to explain some of the things that we're talking about. But obviously, once you check that out, you can save that tab and then you can join us over here where we're actually going to break it down. So this area here, this is basically like our own Google search for all nationwide properties. What Jamil had said about, his approach is direct to seller. If you look at our list, obviously we have the ability to search for active listings, but everything else on our list, these are all unlisted, unadvertised, AKA off market properties. These are the properties that are not on the market. Nobody knows about them. These are the properties that we're going to hunt and find. And this is like our personal Google search. Like I don't have to go to this website to find foreclosures and this one to try to find delinquent taxes. And I don't have to go to this one to find people that own their properties free and clear. Everything is all right here organized for me. So we're just going to put in a geographic location. You can go as big as your whole state. So if you want to search statewide, if you want to go break it down by county, you can search for one city. multiple cities at one time, or you can just type in just one physical address. So if you wanted to come in here and let's say that you're in Jacksonville, Florida, you're going to select your specific area and any of these different drop down tabs, we can select them all on the inside of the screen. So the main thing we want to focus on is going to be our geographic location. So when we come into this area, just like Jamil said, less than 1% of these people, most likely even, excuse me, most likely less than 1% of these people even have a desire to sell their property in the next 90 days. So how do we sift them? How do we sort through them? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to spend thousands of dollars marketing to 299,000 different people where the bulk of the people are just going to dodge me, ignore me, or laugh at me.
Right.
So I want to be able to sift them down. Now, when we talk about AI, AI is just one component of the software. It's just like the icing on the cake because we can search for numerous different things. So if we wanted to come in here and we just wanted to search for people that were delinquent in their taxes, we can just do that solely by itself. If we wanted to look solely on the AI, this is where we can come in. And you're going to see that we have these 3 different color-coded numbers. These are the ones that I was explaining to you. The reason, obviously, why I love the wholesale number is because obviously we're going to get it at a wholesale price, but there is something going on with this person financially, and it's our job to help them. There's something that has flagged our system that they need to sell their property, but it is financially motivated. It could be they're behind on credit cards. And when we look at these numbers, sometimes we look at these people and we say like, okay, this person here, we may look at somebody and say, well, they own their property free and clear and they bought it in cash. Why are they on this list? But legally, we can't tell you why. The only thing that we can do is give you that number because behind the scenes, they may be late on their credit card payments. They may have their utilities being shut off. Those are the type of things that we're seeing that we're able to find out with the software. So we could come in here to this AI score and we can basically say, give me all the people that have a score and we can, and anything above a 500 is worth marketing to. Anything on our different lists that we customize our different list are worth marketing to. If we're focusing solely on AI, I like to focus on a minimum of a 500 score because obviously it's going to give us twice the results as not leveraging it. So when we come in here, 215,000 different people, that's still really high number. So what we can do then is we can come in here and we can basically say, all right, give me all the people. Let's go to 800. Let's say 800 and above. So really high AI score. We still have 4,600 different people. Like we can go even higher. Let's go to 900 and see how many we get. Now, when we're looking at these lists, it is quality over quantity all day long because you guys may be in a small area. You may narrow it down and you may get 150 people and you say, oh my gosh, that's only 150. But when we have that score of 900 and above, that's what Jamil was talking about. We go from that less than 1% success rate to a 16.3% likelihood that the people on the list that we're targeting will sell in the next 90 days. So if I have a list of 100 people and just say it's only 100, most likely 16 or 17 of those people will sell in the next 90 days. So that is a huge amount compared to pulling some blank list that you find somewhere targeting 3,000 different people that you're lucky to hear back from maybe 1 or 2 people that say, take me off your list. So if we go to, I mean, we can even go higher. Like let's go to 950. I don't even know if I've really targeted, 950, that high of a list, but we're still at 4,000 different people. Now
Wow.
you can come in here and you can sift them down. Like you can say, give me the highest numbers first. Somebody like this, and anybody on this list, and this is guys like with all the software that you guys have, you can click on anybody on this list. We're integrated with Google Maps. So if Google has been there, we can virtually go see that property. We can come in here and we can scrub it down even further. Sometimes, Jamil may say, only target individuals who own their properties. We may not care about contacting any sort of banking or financial institutions. Or you may say, my niche is single family, so we can narrow it down here. You may say, you know what, I really only like 3 bedroom, 2 baths. Or if you're in certain parts of Florida and you say, look, those hot properties are the 1 bedroom, 1 bath because it's retirement zones. Be picky. Come in here and tell the system exactly what you're looking for because
Right.
it will break it down. So we
I,
can
I
break it down. Go ahead.
I want to just see in the chat how many of you guys right now are working a W-2 job while also doing this. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jenna. I want you to continue there. But if you are working a W-2 job, just put a W-2 in the chat, either if you're on Zoom or YouTube. I just want to see that. Sorry, continue, please.
No, no. So, I mean, so we can be super, super selective. If you want a certain square feet, sometimes different investors, they have their buy box narrowed down. They say, I want properties from 1992 and current, or I want houses that they've owned them for at least 7 years or more. And I want a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and I want a minimum square footage of, or a square footage max of 2,000 or less, or 2,000 or more. It's all based on you. And that's just the nice thing about the software is it's literally going to hand them to you. So now we have it narrowed down to 909 different people that have that high sellability score, that are a single family property owned by an individual owner in their personal name, a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And so, I mean, we can even be more selective. We could
I
come
want
in
to do
here and
that.
we,
And here's why,
yeah,
right? So I've got a whole slew of people that are in the Zoom right now that have W-2s. And there's a handful of people on my YouTube chat right now that have W-2s. And here's why I think it's so important that you really pay attention to what Jenna's saying right now. Jenna, let's take this list and let's add more filters to it. Okay,
okay,
let's add absentee owner.
okay. Let me move my Zoom tools out of the way here.
You
All
know what?
right.
I actually promised somebody that we were going to do this in Albuquerque. So
Oh yeah.
let's pull a list in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
You know how hard that one was for me to spell? Man, that was a rough one for me. I'm like the worst speller too. So, all right, let's go to
How,
Albuquerque.
how did you spell it?
I had no idea. Like I was
Did you
good with
put K's in there? Were you like,
I was like,
did
how many Q's are in that word,
you kind of spell it like beef jerky, like Albuquerque? Was
I
it
I
A
was
L
lucky.
B A K E R K Y Albuquerque?
I mean, I feel like if I spell things the right way every time, I lack creativity, Jamil. So, I
I
mean,
I
I
agree.
was, I was lucky for spell check and auto suggestion. So, luckily for me. All right, so let's focus on absentee owners.
Absentee owner. Let's add more on there. Let's go absentee owner, high equity,
Let's go to high equity.
delinquent tax, and now let's go to the sellability scores.
Okay, so we're going to start out lower just because we have a list that's already super filtered. So
Okay.
let's do five above 176.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. If you have a W-2 job, okay, if you've got a W-2 job, why would you not want to have this list available to you? If you called every morning for 30 minutes before you went to work, and if you came home and called for 30 minutes after you got home from work, this is all the time you would need. I mean, because guys, 16 out of 100 of these folks are going to have are going to be potentially selling within the next 90 days. So you literally got gold in your hands, and all you need to do to commit yourself in terms of time would be a little bit of time in the morning and a little bit of time in the evening, and then following up with those people as you continue talking to them. Again, a direct to seller lead is going to need to be touched anywhere between 8 to 13 times, just like an agent. 8 to 13 follow-ups before that person will ultimately sell to you. But now you're not sitting on the phone for 8 hours a day to find them, because we've been able to identify who those potential people are through this list. And we're going to get to what the skip tracing data is in a little bit later on in today's live stream. But if I'm working a W-2 job, this is exactly how I would do it. Like, I would not waste any freaking time doing anything else, because I know that, okay, if I put in half an hour, 45 minutes in the morning, half an hour, 45 minutes in the afternoon, when I come home from work, by the end of the month, well, it would probably take you 2 months because you'd need to follow up for the first. But by the end of month two, I should have a contract, at least one. And these direct to seller contracts, they get way more money than your agent contracts. We're talking like 20, 25,000. What's the last one you did, Jenna? Was it 20 grand or something like that?
Yeah, it was. And that's the thing, like guys, I'm like a hardcore rehabber, and just hanging out with guys like Jamil, it's like I need to do more wholesaling. So in November, I made it my mission. I started like really cranking out my marketing. By December, I had 2 different properties under contract. One of them it ended up falling through because it was terrible title issues. But I just closed it in just a couple of weeks ago, my first one of the year. and I made, it was like 18,200 because I covered the closing costs. But like less than a 2 month window, pretty much,
Crazy.
I had my first wholesale deal of the year. I mean, yeah, I understand I have some real estate background, but really it's leveraging the software. It's skip tracing it, which I'll show you guys how to do because there was a question in the chat about that. And just putting in the work. Like there is no real success recipe for somebody who succeeds in real estate versus fails, other than the person who, obviously people who fail is just because they quit. I mean, that's the only reason they failed. But there's no real rhyme or reason. Somebody who's successful in real estate is the person who's willing to do the things consistently that other people are just too lazy to do. And that's what it comes down to. So
Yep.
I'm in the middle of doing a 75 hard, a mental toughness challenge. Part of it is 45 minutes every single day that I added to it is I have to cold call. I have to do something that is a revenue generating activity. And so from doing that, I mean, I'm going to be able to get through 50 to 100 different people if I'm manually dialing them. If I have a dialer, it's going to make me go quicker. But if I want to take this list, and one of the things too, like you said, absentee owner, if we wanted to even get a little bit more tricky with this, one of the things that I've showed you guys before, this is one of my things that I love to focus on is if you look down here, we have absentee owner, but it's broken down even further. So we can get even more granular to say, I want out of state absentee owners, so
Right.
we can do that. Or if we want to combine it, keep it that way. So depending on the size of your list, you can do one or the other. So if you want to make it even smaller, depending if your area is bigger, you can go as granular as that. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take this list. We can select them all. So it's just going to be this simple because Chris in the Q&A had asked about how do you differentiate between the landlines and the mobile numbers. So what you'll do is you'll come in here. We're going to go to Skip Trace Plus because this is going to be our better option. And so what we'll do is we're going to go to Skip Trace Plus. We're just going to go to next. And this is going to be dropping down in price, I believe, by next week. So it should be going to 10 cents. So, I mean, even cheaper, even more affordable for us. So we'll scroll, we'll agree to the terms and
Wait.
conditions.
Did you just say that we're dropping the price of skip tracing? How come I didn't approve this?
It's because
Because I didn't get a say. You guys are just doing it. That's amazing. You going from
yeah.
15 to 10 cents? When does that start?
Well, it was going to be 12 cents, and you may have known about that forever
I
ago, but
did know that.
yeah, it should be next week just because we're trying to make it as affordable so that there's no excuses for anybody. So take this list. I mean, even at 15 cents, $33, like I can't even take my kids to the drive-through at McDonald's for this.
True.
$33.60 for me, and it's going to be even less expensive. So it's going to be a third cheaper, by next week. Hopefully by next week is the plan. So it will go to 10 cents because basically right now we have two different companies. The first one is more towards individuals, which is fine because if we're selecting individuals only. If we have any sort of LLCs, business entities, trusts, or anything else on our list, it basically says, sorry, I can't help you. Our Skip Trace Plus is fantastic because it pierces the corporate veil, but it also works for individuals. So we're going to get up to 10 different forms of contact. So we're going to get house phones, cell phones. So Chris, you had asked the question about how do we differentiate them. It will say it on your list once you get it back to you. So it will give you things like house phones, cell phones, emails, IP addresses, which is creepy, their age, if they've ever filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
We could even contact all of their relatives because their relatives and their relatives' phone numbers will be on there. So we will find a way to reach out to that person.
If you don't want to sell, if you don't want to answer my phone, I'm gonna call your mama.
I'm gonna call,
I'm
you
gonna
call
call your
everybody.
mama's mama. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find
So
you. I'm gonna talk to your grandma.
we're consolidating them. We're moving towards our best option, and then we're bringing that cost down to make it even more affordable. So even with this, even if it's worst case scenario 15 cents, we're at $33.60 to be able to go. And a lot of people are like, I bought into different coaching programs, or I did these different things, or I don't have any extra money for marketing. Like really $33. I'm not saying that it's not something, but if you can be an investor and you can come in here for $33 and you can spend the next week cold calling these people, and even if you get a couple people, they're like, well, I'm interested potentially, and you can wholesale one deal. Like if we have 224 people on there, and if we're going with our 16% stats, that means that like 35 of these people will most likely sell in the next night. Like 35 of them. I
It's
mean, not just
crazy.
one or two. I mean, whether they sell to us that's the goal, but they're going to sell. They're going to sell to somebody. And if they know, like you and trust you, and you've reached out and you've touched them numerous times, there is no reason why you will not get these deals. It's simple as that. They will say yes. And like, and I'll show you guys, I'll show you something live. Is that okay if I show them something
Please,
like real,
please,
real example here?
please.
Let me go here.
I'll
Like
be right
this is
back. Keep
my,
going.
so this is in my personal area. So a lot of times people say, well, what are the success stats, or, how common is it that people will respond to you? So once my Excel wants to decide to bring itself up here. So if we look here, if we look at some of these different people's, I'll just kind of pull them up here. When you look at them in green, these are the people that says, yes, I want to sell. So this person here. So if we go here, we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, like maybe 10 or 11 people. They said yes. The very first person said yes. Then they said yes. Then they said yes. They said yes. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, like you can see that every 5, 6, every 10 people are wanting to sell. And it may just be my area. I mean, that may be the case. And that was something that I sometimes often think about. But if you look at my list here, I'm also doing cold calling in Rhode Island. So, I started calling here. So this person wanted to sell. This person
They're
wanted to
saying they
sell.
can't see
This
your
person.
Excel sheet.
Oh, dang it. Sorry. Let me see here. Let me see if I can. Let me go here. All right. Let's see if we can pull this up here. All right. All right.
That's a
Now you
nice,
guys
that's a
see it.
that's a better picture of me than my face. I'm just gonna keep that smiling picture on there with me on a yacht.
There you go. Well, so a lot of times I think like, is it just me? Is it just my marketing? Is it just my area? Because I invest in a tiny little town in southwestern Pennsylvania. However, I'm doing marketing now in Rhode Island because I know it's a booming area. So, I started cold calling these people. You can see here, they want to sell. They want to sell. They want to sell. And by 32 people, I already had 3 leads. There was other ones that they ended up changing their mind. Like one of these people said no. But you can see here that like within my first 30 couple people, I already had 3 leads of people that want to sell their properties in super, super nice areas. I know I probably shouldn't have shown all my poker hand there, but it
You're
just to give
good.
you guys a real
Nobody's gonna steal from you, Jenna. You're
okay. If you can't, if you want to, I already built the credibility and the rapport with the people. So I'm not
Hey, that's what's
um,
up.
yeah. So, when we look at that, that was 1 out of every 10 people pretty much that I called that wanted to sell in an area that I've never been, that I don't have the same accent by far. Man, like I know, Jamil, you call a lot of different regions, and it was like a new learning experience for me to call somebody from a different area. Some of the people in Rhode Island were just not very nice to me, and in Pennsylvania, they were a lot nicer, but you got to deal with what you got to deal with. But yeah, let me pull back up our software here. And we can keep on talking about it, but I'm excited for you to,
I'm excited to get on the phones. Yeah.
yeah, for you to start calling these people here. Cause, and I don't know, is Albuquerque going to be an area where they're going to speak a lot of Spanish? Did you like, brush up on your Spanish skills since the
I don't
last time
know.
we?
I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the names. Let me see. I got a list of the names from Natasha. So hold on. I got a Kelly Newman, a Ryan. I got a Robert, a Curtis, a Kim, a John. Okay. Okay. Now, so, it's good. It's about 60%, I think, um, non-Spanish speakers and 40% Spanish speakers from what I can see based on the name. So I should do okay today.
And I was going to show one thing, and then if you wanted to, or did you want to get calling right now?
No, let's see that last thing, and then I'll hop on the phones.
And something I did want to kind of just show you guys, the way that I look at this software, everything that I showed you, it's kind of like we're getting into a sports car, but we're just going the speed limit. And so the software does so many additional things that we haven't even got into. It's like, let me show you some of the things of like really like pushing down that gas pedal and really taking it to a different level. Some of the things that you're going to notice in my account, you're not going to have access in your current account. Now, the software is going to take you from start to finish to be a fantastic real estate investor. But as you grow, as you become more successful, you're going to want it to do more things. One of those things is going to have access to an increased list of different motivated sellers, because we're leveraging it in ways to find all these different motivated sellers. But there are some additional things that you guys could have access to. One of the things is going to be our lien information. So you're going to notice in my account that I have something called lien types. This is all of our lien data. So right now, if you were to go down to the courthouse and spend a bunch of time digging through all the different liens on a property, you may find things like mechanics liens or people that are going through divorces or probates or different type of homeowners association liens or assignments of rents. Now, if you're not sure what all these different things are, you have a glossary that will define all the different terms. But some of these things are so powerful, like assignments of rent. Just to put it into English, let's say that Jamil is my lender. I'm borrowing from him. I don't pay my mortgage. He can basically come to me and say, you have to give me all the rents and as a way to offset what you owe me.
Yep.
That stuff is a documented type of occurrence where people can research that. That's going to be something that we can search for. So we can go into any particular area, and a lien is an indication of financial distress. It is an additional way for us to be able to find those motivated sellers. So what if we could go to an area, and this is so powerful as an investor. What if we could go to an area and say, all right, give me all the people. Let's start by we're going to go into our more tab first. We're going to come in here and we're going to say, give me all the properties that were sold in the last year. Let's focus on business owners. So LLCs, basically give me all the houses in the last year that were sold to investors that were similar to me, because these are people that are buying them in their business entity, bought them in the last year that now have a mechanics lien on their property. 622 in this area. 622 investors that started buying a property, started renovating it, got in over their head, and potentially now they can't finish their project. Tell me that this would not be a huge, huge list for us to reach out to these people, get these different properties. And now the cool thing is like we can grab any one of these different properties. We can scroll down to the bottom and it's going to give us all the stats on them, so we can see, any sort of mechanics liens here. So I mean, this
Damn.
one's a small one, $388, but some of them, I'm just going to try to just grab any one of them. Some of them may be larger liens. We can see that we're integrated again with Google Maps. So we can see all the behind the scenes info there. So we can come down, look at this one here, a mechanics lien, for $12,993, potentially a deceased probate. We can click on this, we can see whoever this Pro Builders of Central Florida was. So you can come in here and see all the lien information on any
Damn.
different property. Or, just to take it to a different level, what about any sort of, if we go to like assignments of rents? So we have, and what if we go look at something like, let's look at a bored investor, like a tired landlord, or not that one. Sorry, I have too many things open here. So let me I had that last year on here. So let me take that off of here. So if we come in here, let's go to our like absentee owners.
So
Let's go to our
lean data is
rent.
available, but is that an additional bolt-on that they have to um add to their subscription?
Yes, it's something additional. If it's something that you're interested in adding that on.
What is that going to add to the bill, just so that Brian understands?
So our lien information, let me pull that up to see what that does cost. I have it right here. So the lien information is 1997, so 1,997 to be able to find. But what if you find one deal with that?
Right. That's
Um,
for the whole year, correct?
I believe that it's for the lifetime of your account.
The lifetime of the account. Oh, wow.
Should be the
Okay.
lifetime of the
Okay.
account.
Okay. So, I mean, that's an incredible value. And of course, what I would suggest, any of you guys that are watching this do is get Deal Junkie, do 3, 4 deals, right? Get yourself a like a good war chest, 50, $60,000 in the bank, and then tack on the lean data and tack on what are the other things that they can bolt on to really make their system more robust.
Well, one of my favorite things is obviously increasing our artificial intelligence territory, because when you guys join the Deal Junkie, you're going to get access to turning on that sellability score in 10 different areas, 10 different zip codes. However, sometimes people say, well, I want more than 10 zip codes. So
Right.
you can come in here and you can basically have unlimited areas. You can buy your whole county. You can buy the whole state. You can buy nationwide access to all the different artificial intelligence areas. Also, something else that you can do, and we can spend more time on this in the future. Right now, you're going to have absentee owners, active listings, cash buyers, delinquent tax activity, free and clear, the different equity positions, and upside down. Now, this is going to be what you guys have access to. If you wanted to increase your leads, you have something that's called our premium leads. And so we can talk about having access to the foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, potentially inherited properties. One of my absolute favorite is
Vacant.
vacancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So zombie properties. So these are properties that are in a pre-foreclosure scenario. So while you're calling, I can put the links in there if everybody wants to check out the different pricing and different things like that. But like you said, this is something that they can grow to. But it's something that I obviously wanted to make available because sometimes people say, you know what, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it all out. Like I
Yeah.
want to have all the different tools and resources available.
Incredible. How many of you guys are ready to hear me start making some calls? If you guys want me to make some calls, first hit the like button on YouTube, guys. There's like, nearly 50 of you guys on there, and like only 18 of you have done this. That's all it takes. Uh, why can't you do it? Just do it. Do it. Just hit, just do it. Yes. Yes. Why? Why are you guys lazy? Do it. Just hit. Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna make some calls. You guys want to see me make some calls? You have to hit like. I'm not gonna make any calls on here until I see as many likes on the YouTube channel as I see people watching. Come on, guys. Come on. Hit it up. Okay, cool. I am going to start making some calls. I'm nervous. Should I be nervous?
I wouldn't be nervous. They can't take your birthday.
They can't take my birthday? What is that? What does that mean?
That means that like no matter what happens, like they can't take your birthday. They can't take that from you.
Okay.
So
Well, you know what? I'm going to try to find a way to say that line in some call today. You can't take my birthday. I don't
say
know
it to
how I don't know how I'm going to figure out how to say it, but I'm going to say it. Okay.
Hi, I'm a Google virtual assistant recording this call for the person you're trying to reach. Before I try to connect you, can I ask what you're calling about?
I'm calling about the property on Claiborne Park Drive.
Okay, let me try to get the person you're trying to reach on the line.
I never heard this before.
Hey, sorry, they're not able to take your call, but you can try again later. Have a great day.
Thanks, robot. All right, on we go. Where is Natasha's text message? God, it's buried in here. On we go. Okay, I'm calling Ryan.
Hi, this is Emily Sapanas at Helix.
On to the next.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
You've reached M Electric. Sorry, we missed.
Please leave your message for 50.
what time of day do you usually see the most success, Jamil, when you call?
It differs. Morning is good, but I mean, whenever you're going to make the calls is good, honestly. The afternoon is always going to be a little less, though. Yes, I'm just using my cell phone.
Please leave your message for 50.
Hi, is Son there?
Speaking.
Hey, Son. My name is Jamal. I'm calling about that house that you got on Lassen Court in Albuquerque.
Yes.
You, by any chance, plan on selling that in the next little while? I'm desperately looking for a property down there, and I'm literally just making phone calls to see if I can reach out to somebody that may be interested in selling.
No, I'm not planning on moving. Thanks for calling, though.
Oh, you're very welcome. Have a good day, sir.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, it was the right number. On we go. This is an LLC, so. Hello?
Yes.
Hi, I'm calling about the property on Irby Street in Albuquerque.
Okay.
Are you guys by chance planning on selling that in the next little while? I'm currently looking for a property to purchase for myself out there, and I'm getting a little desperate, and I'm just seeing if there's anybody who's interested in selling.
I don't know. How'd you find out about it?
Well, I just pull a list of houses in specific areas that I like, and then there's these websites where I can go and find phone numbers. I'm an industrious guy, so
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sounds like it.
yeah.
So you're moving here permanently?
I'm thinking about it, but I do want to purchase a property out there so I can spend more time.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, it's probably not able. I'm probably not able to sell it just because it's in a trust.
Okay.
It's kind of tied up in a trust.
Okay.
So I think it's not like I'm going to say we're stuck with it because I put $80,000 into remodeling it.
Okay.
And I already have a house, so I just rent it out.
Got it.
I would love to sell it because I'm really not wanting to do property management forever. But I don't think it's sellable. And I haven't gotten with the attorney yet to find out exactly how or if it can't stay in the family forever.
I have an answer.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, because I've actually purchased a property in a trust before, and so
Oh,
yeah, and so it was actually really simple. So is this the only property in the trust by chance?
No.
So
it's not.
you've got other ones?
Yeah.
Okay, and so how I've done it in the past, and they can move a property from one trust to another trust. I've seen that done, but what they'll do is if I'm buying the property, I pay you, and then I get beneficial interest in the trust. And so and that's how they do it. It's like I don't buy the property, I'm buying the beneficial interest, if that makes sense.
I see. I've never heard of it, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually not a super complicated mechanism that an attorney can do. But if it sounds to me like you'd like to sell it, and if that's the case, do you want to maybe give your attorney a call sometime in the week, and then I can diarize to call you back next week? And
at some point, maybe, but honestly, I'm caring for my 95-year-old mother who's been in and out of the hospital 4 times the last 2 months, and she just had a heart surgery thing done, and so I'm really preoccupied
I
with that
understand.
right now.
Yep.
So probably if you found other places, go ahead and check them out as
Okay.
well. And
Okay.
I mean, you're welcome to stay in touch with me. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I personally have a house that is way too big for me, and it's just me. And I'm living at my mother's right now. And when she's gone, which I have to start thinking about that time, I was honestly thinking about moving into that house myself because I love what I did to it. I'm
The
a
remodel.
builder. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm a builder. So I love taking houses that are sad and just need some love, and going
Yeah.
in and doing what they need to make them feel better.
You sound like one of the nicest people. So my mom had a 5 bypass heart surgery.
Oh, God.
And
Yeah.
it was such a stressful thing. So I'm so
Sure.
empathetic to what you're going through right now. I'm sending you a ton of prayers, and I hope everything with mom gets, better, and that she's in, and resting easy with you and having a nice recovery. And so I truly understand what you're going through, and I don't want to add any pressure or,
No.
bother you by any means. But, it also sounds to me like there may be an opportunity on the house you're living in right now that is obviously too big for you. So here's what I'm going to do. Can I have your first name?
Renee.
Renee. Okay. I'm Jamil. That's spelled Jamil. If you just save me in your phone, because I know I'm calling you from a strange area code. I have a California phone number. Don't judge me on that. I once lived there, but I have left. I left with all the craziness. So I'm currently in Arizona, not too far away from you in New Mexico. And so save me in your phone, and I will just periodically send you a text, maybe even just like a fun prayer or a quote or something that might help you get through what you're going through with mom.
Yes, definitely.
And then, stay in touch with me, and I'll follow up with you in like a month and just see how things are going.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Renee, you're so pleasant to talk to today.
You as well. Thanks for talking. We'll hopefully talk soon.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
What?
Nailed it.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like how many phone calls have I been on? It's just like, this is less than 10 dials, right? This is less than, so guys, this is what she's saying. I can't make this stuff up. Like we can't invent this. This is what's going, this is the power of this list. So now let's talk about Renee, because I want to dissect that situation for a moment. Okay. So Renee has 2 properties, one in a trust, which I gave her a solution on how she can sell it. Second, she's got the house she's living in right now that's too big for her. She has a 95-year-old mother who just had heart surgery. Okay. 95, heart surgery. How much time do we got? And I'm not saying that to be terrible. I'm just saying it realistically, because she said, I have to start thinking about when mom leaves. Right. So now I position myself. I genuinely have empathy for her. My mother did have a 5 bypass surgery. It was one of the most stressful times of my life. I completely empathize with what she's going through. And so, that's there. But because I know this, because I understand how her and I align and how her and I connect, I'm going to, over the next 30 days, because I'm a spiritual person and I also believe in being kind, I'm going to send her prayers. I'm going to send her uplifting, kind messages. And I'm going to have no talk of the house. I'm going to say nothing about the property. I'm just going to send her prayers. I'm going to send her well wishes, and I'm going to tell her that I'm thinking about her. And in a month, I'm going to call her up and I'm going to say, how's mom doing? How are you doing? And continue doing that. Remember, guys, sometimes these sales cycles can take 60, 90 days. But the way that I'm going to create and continue to build trust and rapport with her, when Renee sells her house, I'm the buyer. There's nobody else she's going to want to do business with. And this is going to be how I'm going to continue to lay this relationship out. But if we can just for a moment realize what just happened here, that I dialed for less than 10 minutes, spoke to a homeowner with the right phone number, and here we are. We have a lead. Like this is what I'm saying. This is the power of what we've got here in Deal Junkie. I'm going to make a couple more calls, even though I don't feel like it's necessary. We've already proven I'm going to keep doing it because this is always just way too fun. Jenna, that was amazing.
You did great on that one.
Thanks.
Thank you for calling. If you're calling to make an appointment, leave your name for.
Hello, this is Christy Morgan at Blue Z Health. Please leave
That's
your
her
name
name.
and your message and give me 24 to 48 hours
I'm
to
gonna leave a
return your
message.
phone call. You may also text to this number to get a quicker response, and you can email me at blue.com. I will get back to you as soon as I can, and have a great day. Bye-bye. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Christy, this is Jamal calling. I'm phoning about the property that you own at 82. Really, really desperately looking for a property to purchase out there. And if you have any inkling to even sell that in the next little while, I would love a call from you. If you could give me a phone call back at 31. Boom. On we go.
Hello,
Hey, is this Robert?
this is.
Robert, my name is Jamil. Thank you for answering the call, man. I'm calling because I'm interested in that property that you have on Medicine Bow Place in Albuquerque.
It's not up for sale, and please take us off your list.
Happy to. Have a good day. Cool. On we go. It was a good number though.
Hi, this is Mia leaving.
That was also the right number. Mia. Dang, like, how is the skip tracing this good though? Where are you guys getting these numbers from?
It's a mystery.
It's creepy. It's good though. I'd rather like this because I mean, one thing that I hate is wasting time.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail.
I just want one more call, just one more conversation.
Hello, we are not available now.
The what?
I'm not stopping until I get one more person on the phone. Going overtime. Everybody's at work. But I just love that these are all good numbers. I'm going to get so many people calling me back tonight.
Good afternoon.
Hey, my name is Jamil. I'm looking for the owner of the property on Baldwin Avenue. Do I have the right number?
You do not.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you so much.
Farewell.
Bye-bye. Should I keep going? One more. You down? Jenna, you got somewhere to go?
No, and I'm hanging out with you.
Okay. I'm like a drug addict. Just one more. Just one more. Just one more. Just one more. That's why it's Deal Junkie. Because I'm a crackhead for this stuff. Line it up. Get me a straw. I'm kidding.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person.
I really wanted her to answer because her name is Jennifer Jones, and I wanted to be like, is this Jenny Jones? I lost my place here. Hold on. Okay, I'll dial one more, and then I think we call it a day. It just must be people just working today, but that one lead was awesome. Come on, Jediah, pick up the phone. Jediah. Come on, Jediah. Let's go. Pick up the phone. Pick it up. Come on, you can do it. Come on. You're tired of it ringing. Answer it.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Okay, one more. Just one more.
Wireless.
Just one more. Just one more. God, this is why it's called Deal Junkie, guys, because you can't stop once you get started. Hello? Hello, is this the Puri family?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm trying to talk to somebody about the property on Hermosa Drive. Any chance?
It's never on sale. Hello.
Oh, you're not wanting to sell it?
Never. We never, from last 50 years, we never want to sell. We never will sell. I don't know who's putting wrong information.
Oh, no. There's no information out there. I'm just kind of desperate looking for something.
Well, none of our homes. We have 4 homes. None of them are ever on sale. But
Wow.
thank you for calling.
You have 4 houses?
Yes.
That's incredibly fortunate for you guys.
Yeah, thank you. But anyway, we are never selling them.
That's okay. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you too.
God bless
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
4 homes, right answer, right number, but she is not selling today, but maybe if I call her next week, she might be different. Might be a different story. But that was cool, man. I'm just so happy that like I actually get to do something when we do this live. Like people answer the phone and we got a lead pretty quickly. The numbers, Jenna, are phenomenal. Like I have never seen skip tracing this good before. Nothing. I've never seen anything like it, guys. Again, as we were saying earlier in today's live, it's really important that, especially if you're working a W-2 job, that you have access to good data, and that if you can curate that data so that you get yourself the most concentrated list of opportunities, the way that we did today, you will find a Renee. You will speak to somebody who is interested in selling. Now, after just a handful of dials today, I was talking to a woman who was interested in selling a property. Of course, this is going to require some tremendous follow-up on my part, and I'm going to do that. But this is how it's done. Imagine if you only did this work for a half an hour to an hour every single day, and that you methodically followed up with the people that you spoke to. The likelihood of you getting a deal goes from maybe to absolutely, because 16 out of every 100 people on this list are going to sell their property in the next 90 days. So there is bound to be leads in this list of people that I got. If you don't have Deal Junkie, do yourself a favor. There's a link in the chat right now, drdealjunkie.com. Go check it out. The most incredible software that you can get for going direct to seller. I prove it to you today by getting a lead in minutes. We will be back in 2 Thursdays, and we're going to do this again and again and again. And we're going to keep doing this because I'm addicted to it. Jenna, so good to see you as always.
Good to see you.
I'm glad you had a beautiful Valentine's Day, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep. I'll see you then.
All right, folks. Take care.